Very cute. I don't know, Mark, you think we want to give everybody just a couple more minutes?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I have another program right backed up to this one, so we won't go long because I'll have to be on another one at 12:45. So,
Okay. Do you want to wrap up for questions at?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'll probably be done. I don't know. Depends on what time we start. 25. There'll be at least 10 minutes, but we're not going to have a lot of people on, so there probably won't be a lot of questions. But and they're going to have my phone number and my email address, so I'm going to extend to them the opportunity to text me or email me if they have a question. I mean, I'll be, so in other words, if they watch the recording a week from now, they'll still be able to reach out and say, Mark, what about this? I need this. And if Cub can answer it, Ashley can answer, you can answer it, great. But if they need my help, I'm not gonna ignore them.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. That was last week.
Sorry, I can't help you. All right. Well, I think I'm getting the cue that we need to just go on and jump in because you're under a time constraint, and I'm sure everybody else is too. So those who are late, that's okay. They can jump on and when they do. So for the few of us that are on, I am Erin Daniel, and obviously a member of OCHAR, and I have been given the honor to introduce Mark Given, who is the founder of Trust-Based Philosophy and best known for his book series, The Trust-Based Philosophy. Mark attended Ohio State, and then, like the many we see, migrated to our beautiful state to complete his education at Elon. He spent a good 20 years as the CEO of a multi-state retail sales and rental company that he grew to over 47 locations. And then the next 20 has been spent as a coach, an educator, and an author with the goal of teaching systems, leadership skills, sales skills, and a mindset that we all need in order to be successful. Today, Mark's job is to unravel the alphabet soup of our lovely realtor designations, telling us what they mean and how to achieve them. Just some sort of tech notes. We're going to have the chat box open for you to pose questions. However, Mark would like to take these at the end, hoping to have answered most of your questions along the way. So with no further ado, I allow you, Mark, to go forth.
Thank you. Hey, I'm just glad to be here. Always love working with you guys. Love coming down there. And in a COVID world right now, I guess this is the best we can do. So I'm just thrilled that we have the technology to be able to do that. We're going to talk about NAR designations and certifications today, and I'll give you some important principles for you to understand, what's next for you, because there should always be a next. It's interesting that very kind introduction. So I never really planned on writing more than one book, but right now I'm at 9 books. Probably my best known or my trust-based philosophy books, and it's allowed me to, especially because of virtually, it's allowed me to do programs from Hong Kong to London. So I'm glad to be with you folks today, talk to you about education, because the truth is, the more education you get, you should never quit. We should always be learning. In fact, you don't even have to take my word for that. I wish I had a Duke study on this, but I have a Harvard study on this. And what they were researching is, in the United States, what's the mindset? What's the percentage of people that actually have a mindset of learning? And what they discovered was it's only 10% of people that actually have that. In other words, 90% of people out there in all industries, so not just real estate, but 90% only improve their skills if it's part of the job requirement. So for the real estate industry in North Carolina specifically, what that means is that 90% of the 5,000, 110,000 real estate licensees in the state of North Carolina, all they do is take CE. That's it, 8 hours of continuing education. But statistics show year after year after year that it's the freaks, it's the people that will go, the 10% that will have an opportunity to grow to the 1 to 2%. In other words, they'll end up growing their business more, serving more people, having more success within not just the real estate industry, but all industry. So if you're in the 10%, then, and you have a learning mindset, then what we're going to talk about for the next little while is information that will help you grow your business, serve more people, be more successful in real estate where you are. And here's what I've learned over the course of my life, whether it was my 20 years in the retail business and now 20 years as a realtor, that we all have a comfort zone. It's just real easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, and so much so that we're constantly putting out fires and we're not growing ourselves. But the magic is outside of our comfort zone. It means we got to do something that others are not willing to do. And they're easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. And so the successful ones will get out of their comfort zone and they'll find the magic. They'll make great things happen. So I want to just ask you a question for you in your mind, and you don't even have to go to the chat box, or you don't have to text me on this, but it's just a simple question. Real estate, do you think it's a profession? Do you think it's an industry? And I asked this question. I wrote the GRI business planning course for North Carolina and for 3 other states. And I always ask this question as I begin that GRI business planning class, and I will explain what GRI is in just a minute. But I always ask this question because what's interesting is, although it's not life-changing, it's an important principle to understand, because profession and industry are not defined the same. Profession is defined as you get paid for your billing time. We know what professions are: lawyers, doctors. I have a son that's a dentist, as an example. They get paid if they show up and do the work, even if they're not successful. But we, real estate, we're in an industry. In other words, we have total control over our own destiny. We get to decide how much is enough and what do we need to do to get there. What's really scary is that statistically, there's a 50% turnover in the realtor world. In other words, there's about 1.35 million realtors right now in the United States. And based on NAR statistics, 5 years from now, if we still have 1.3 million, it'll be 650,000 of them to 700,000 of them will be different people. Those people will still have a license, but they won't be realtors. And that's kind of scary when you think about it. Why is education so important? So that we're not in the 50% that gets left along the road. So it's just learning a new language. It's learning the educational language to help us know what we could do, what we should do, and then what's available to us. Because if we know it, well, it might help us save our own lives. So it's like this. So we're not the Avista language school, but we are the realtor language school. What languages could we speak? And will those languages resonate with a different group of people? In other words, even a group that would be more fun to work with. So this is a picture. When you look at the screen, if you're looking at the screen, this is a picture of all of the many choices that NAR mandates as acceptable designations or certifications that you can put the alphabet soup behind your name. Some of the people that are watching this live right now, some of you that may be watching it on a recording later, will have some of these designations. Now, we don't have the time today. We're not going to take the time to talk about every one of these. We're going to talk about the top designations, and I'll even give you the numbers of the people in North Carolina that have that specific designation. So if there's any designation or certification that's above 100 designees, I'm going to show that to you and explain it to you in just a minute. But I want you to look at the bottom of the screen where it has a website, nar.realtor/education/designations and certifications. So I'm going to give you an overview of the alphabet soup that's available to you today. But if you go to this website and this specific link, it will lead you right to a little deeper explanation of any of these that might be of interest to you. So let's just go down the path and talk about some of the different designations. So the North Carolina Realtor Association offers many programs, but not just the association. Each of the individual associations, like your association, can get involved in realtor education. And there's a process to do that, but that's not what you have to worry about as a student. And even companies can offer it. Individuals can get a providership to be able to do that. But there is a process for all that. What I thought I would show you today is the numbers of people that have designations or certifications in the state of North Carolina. Now, there is a difference between a designation and a certification. For the most part, the best way to maybe understand that would be a designation course is going to have a little deeper requirements, and it's going to likely have an annual renewal fee. In other words, if you want to put that designation behind your name, so your name, comma, ABR as an example, I'll show you this in a minute, then you're going to pay an annual fee for the marketing resources, for all the programs that they provide, which would include webinars. They're going to provide some kind of additional education to you, ongoing education, and there might be a fee of maybe $100 to $200 a year, maybe even a little more, depending on what it is. Certifications, oftentimes, you take the education and then you pay an application fee. In some cases, like as an example, I'll give you the MRP, the military relocation. I'll show you that in a minute. But I just got done teaching that in a virtual setting for a company, national company, and we did it over 2 days. And after they finished that course, so they paid for the course, they attended the course, and then they have to pay a $195 application fee for that particular course. It's a one-time fee though. So designations can be an annual fee. Certifications are oftentimes just a one-time fee once you take the course and you apply and you pay the fee. So let's go down the course and let's look at the top designated courses, the top educational programs that NAR provides that realtors have taken advantage of in the state of North Carolina. So number one is Graduate Realtor Institute. Now there's 2,907 designees for GRI in North Carolina right now. When you think about that this is the number one. And there's 44 or so thousand, more than 40,000 realtors. So you can see there's plenty of room to get this education and even use it as a marketing tool. Now, GRI is designed, it's 12 courses. In North Carolina, it's 4 classroom classes. They're all virtual right now. And then it is 8 online classes. Now, when I took it, I don't want to confuse you, it was 12 classes, 12 physical classes, but now it's 4 physical classes, 8 online classes for you. And the virtual now will switch back eventually to live classes. But there's 2,900, really designed for newer agents in the maybe new to 3 years. But I've had plenty of people, as I mentioned to you a little while ago, that I wrote the North Carolina version of the business planning course. And so I've been teaching that for a long, long time. And I teach it for some other states too, and wrote it for other states. But I've had many of these, 2,907 people have been in my classes because I've been doing it for more than a decade. And so just know that even though it tends to be newer agents, not always. Sometimes I have agents that have been around 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or even more, 25, 30 years. They just never got around to it. They wanted those 12 different classes in all different areas of building a successful real estate business. Everything from business planning to listing strategies, of course, ethics, contracts, just think of it, it's going to be in one of those 12 classes. So that's the number one designated course in North Carolina. You'd have more competition for marketing with that group. Number 2 then is SFR, the short sale foreclosure class. Now, this is a one-day certification class. GRI is a one-day certification class. Well, I'm sorry, GRI is a certification class. You pay the fee, you never have to pay another fee. SFR, you pay an application fee. It's a one-day course, and then you pay the application fee and you're in. So 1,889, the bulk of those 1,889 people were designated SFRs back in about 10 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago, when the economy was really struggling. There were tons of foreclosure properties, short sale properties in North Carolina. I bet I taught at least a dozen of these classes, maybe 15 of these classes in a year back during that period of time. So I had many of these 1,889 people also. So anyway, if you want to specialize in short sale foreclosure, that would be a course for you. This course may actually come back because with COVID and with some of the economic situations that have happened as a result of COVID, we may start seeing some short sale foreclosures coming back again in the next couple of years, maybe way more than we've seen in the last several years. I'm expecting that to happen. So it might be something that you would want to consider. So that's number 2. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 is an ePro course. Now that's an internet professional course. You can take that course online, of course, and then back pre-COVID and maybe post-COVID, you'll be able to take it in a classroom too. 1,343 people out there in the state of North Carolina that have this course, that have this designation behind their name. Not a bad idea. If you need help with technology, if you need to understand social media a little better and how to use it, successfully in real estate, then the ePro designation would be a good course for you to consider. I do not have that one. I have GRI and SFR. I don't have the ePro. What's interesting about ePro is that I started it 3 different times, paid the money online, never actually ended up finishing up. And I'm not a procrastinator. It just was one of those things where it just didn't resonate with me so much. But there are other people that love it. They really dig it. Internet and social media and technology is where their mindset really is. And I'm more of a people person. So it didn't work for me. But for you, it might be, a number 1, the one you need to take. Number 4 then is ABR, the Accredited Buyer Representative course. This is a 2-day designation course, and you take the course. You have to have 5 closed buyer transactions within 3 years, I think, of taking the course. And there's 992 ABRs in the state of North Carolina currently. Now, there should be many more, but the reason that they're not more than 992 is because there is an annual fee on ABR every single year. So there are people that have taken the course, got the designation, but they have not continued to pay the fee. So technically, NAR is mandated, Code of Ethics is mandated to say that if you don't pay your fee, then you're not supposed to put ABR behind your name any longer. They do give you a period of time to renew and to re-up if you are in that situation. So you just need to talk to REBAC with the educational arm of NAR, and they can help you with that. So 992 currently that can advertise and market themselves as accredited buyer representatives in the state of North Carolina. Number 5, probably my favorite. Actually, I'm a real advocate of GRI for newer agents, but for those who've been around just a little bit of time, the most powerful courses I believe are CRS courses, the Certified Residential Specialist courses, although it's also called RRC now, the Council of Residential Specialists. But anyway, don't want to confuse you. There's 873 CRSs in the state of North Carolina. Now, there's only 21 CRS instructors, certified instructors in the world. And CRS certified instructors teach all over the world. And actually, I'm blessed and grateful to be one of those 21 and have been since 2006. So it's very rigid, very difficult to become a CRS instructor. They expect a very, very high standard. The expectation and requirements are very difficult to become one, and then to maintain it, you got to be top of your game and make sure that every time you're teaching a class that you got to have it better than, on a 1 to 10 scale of rating of what the students rate. You got to have a 9. So you got to have a 9+ to remain a CRS instructor. So anyway, I'm grateful to be one of those 21 and love my, the men and women that I serve with and teaching these classes. CRS, in order to get CRS, it's a designation. So you pay an annual fee, and there's a series of classes that you get to choose from. Not like GRI where it says you must take these classes, but CRS is you have a choice. Some are online, some are live when they're live again. Some are 2 days, some are 1 day. They now even have some credit-worthy shorter programs. The most powerful courses I ever took as a brand new agent was CRS. As a matter of fact, in my first 2 years of becoming a realtor, I got my GRI, I got my ABR, and I wasn't qualified at the time to get my CRS because there were some sales requirements then. Now it's changed very much. So you wouldn't want to. I think some of the best courses out there are CRS courses. So just know that. And I say that because I know that the quality of the instructors, the expectation is so high that they deliver. So here are the logos for those designations: GRI, SFR, ePro, ABR, and CRS. Let's go to the next group of 5. So the next group of 5, number 6, is one of my favorite courses also. Now, when I became a national instructor, this was the course I was teaching. I belonged at the time to the California Association of Realtors when I started teaching it in 2004. There's 542 SRESs, seniors real estate specialists. These are agents that have learned to work with people that are 55 and older in a couple of different groups: younger matures and older matures. There should be much more than 542, but again, there's an annual fee on this, and so if you don't pay your annual fee, you're not supposed to put SRES behind your name. So if you love the niche of working with mature clients, I just got a call from an association here in North Carolina that wants to schedule an SRES class for their people. It's one of the coastal associations because they have many, many, many retired people that come there buy second homes. And so they wanted to get their realtors involved in the SRES course. So I would recommend it. I love this course. If you're interested in working with mature clients, if that's your niche, if you're not just a generalist and you want to be a specialist, SRES is a good course to consider. 2-day course, annual fee, designation. Number 7 is the PSA course, the Pricing Strategy Advisor course. I actually taught this course for the North Carolina Realtors at their live convention that they had in 2019. It was the first time we had it in North Carolina. It's a 1-day course, certification course, 508 designees that have these, that are certified to call themselves pricing strategy advisors. It's completely about helping sellers understand how to price their homes properly. So in a world where that is so critical, right, that you want to get it right so that you can sell it quickly, the Pricing Strategy Advisor course is an excellent consideration for you. Love the class because it's so relevant to the needs of today. So that's number 7. Number 8 then is the At Home with Diversity class. Now we're seeing a lot more of these classes across the country. I think we're going to see more of these in North Carolina. A friend of mine, Robert Morris from Tennessee, actually completely rewrote this class last year for the National Association of Realtors. For years and years and years, we served together as a CRS instructor, and he no longer does it. He's gone his own way doing some other things now. But he wrote the At Home with Diversity class, has gotten rave reviews. I've recommended him a number of times. And actually, even in North Carolina, he's come to North Carolina from Tennessee. He's gone many places across the country, some virtually now, but he's still doing some live. And this has been a big hit across the country. It really needed to be rewritten anyway. And Robert Morris is the key person that could teach this course if you have some interest for him. In fact, there are probably a lot of instructors that teach it, not knocking anybody. But if you could get Robert, right, because he's the one that wrote the course, I would highly recommend that you get. And he's a great instructor. He's a fun instructor, and he really covers the subject well. So Robert Morris. Number 9, the MRP class. I just mentioned, I just taught that virtually over the last 2 days for one of the national brands. And in North Carolina, there are 463 people with this one-day certification course. It's really a one-day course, even though we broke it up and did it in two half days to make it easier for this brand, because we had people actually from all over the country. I even had some people in Guam that got up in the morning at 4 a.m. to be able to attend the class. The military relocation professional class is a perfect class if you're in a market like a Fayetteville, down in Jacksonville, other places across the state where you have a lot of military people, or if you have a lot of retirees that are veterans. You could specialize by taking the MRP class. This is a certification course, $195 application fee after you've taken the course. No other requirements in attending the course. Pay the $195 application fee, except along with the course, there are 2 online webinars that you must attend. So, and that's on a honor system. So we certainly hope you would do that, right? So you take the course, you watch the 2 videos, you send in an application, pay your $195 one-time fee. So very good course if that's something you're interested in. Number 10 is CCIM. Now, I don't have this. So I just want you to know that I've never really done a whole lot of commercial property. I've never really invested, although I have some commercial investment property. I've never felt the need, don't work with a lot of people in the commercial world. If you are working in the commercial world, CCIM is a course, and I'm telling you, this is a tough one to get too. Multiple classes you have to take, tests on all of them. There are some rigid requirements. Only 372 people have CCIM certifications or designations in the state of North Carolina, and these are the experts of commercial property. So if you are out there in your marketplace and you've got a commercial property that you want to sell, or you've got a buyer that you want to work with that's in commercial, seek out one of these CCIMs. It might be well worth your time bringing in one of these experts who have not only been, well qualified and experienced in commercial, but clearly they would get this designation if they want to be at the top of their game in the commercial world. So Cindy Chandler is an example down in Charlotte, North Carolina, a past president of the North Carolina Realtors. She's a CCIM. So in fact, I think she probably even teaches some of the CCIM courses. So these are the logos for each of those designations. So you can see SRES, PSA, the pricing strategy class, CCIM, at home with diversity, and the military relocation professional. So if you're out there in the world and you see something on their website, you see something, maybe a sticker, maybe a button, something in their advertisement on their business card, at least you can associate this logo with the course. So I'm only going to give you one more group. Number 11 is the resort and second home specialist. There's only 187 of those designees in the state of North Carolina. Obviously, if you're involved in resort properties, second home properties. Now, I live here in Roanoke Rapids. I'm right here near Lake Gaston, beautiful Lake Gaston, and the Roanoke Rapids Lake. I've never gone and taken this course, thought about it several times. Would not be, I don't think I would be the right person to be teaching this class, but somebody that really has done hundreds, maybe, many hundreds of closings in resort and second home, that not only does understand it, but then is a good teacher, can do a great job. This is taught a lot. I mean, obviously states like Florida have a lot of RSPS designees, a lot more than we would have. But we currently have 187. Now, by the way, just so you know, because I forgot to mention this, these numbers are these are just a few weeks old. So when we were putting this together, and Cub invited me, and Ashley, we talked about it, I went ahead and talked to NAR and got the numbers that I needed specifically for North Carolina. They sent them to me for the whole country, but what's important is here. So number 12 is the SRS course. This is the opposite of the ABR course, the Accredited Buyer Representative course. This is the Seller Representative Specialist course. This is a newer course, not been around as long, has not been taught in the state of North Carolina very long. I don't currently teach this class. I've been invited to teach it. I have not taken it, so I don't know the quality of it. I'm sure it can be excellent, but just know that it's to me it would be similar to the pricing strategy course, but seller representative course obviously would also cover some of the law to keep you out of real estate jail, right? And how to practice fiduciary duty properly. So the SRS course, keep an eye out for that. It's a newer course and might be something that would be helpful to you if you focus a lot on listing properties or you want to compete more in listing properties. So number 13 is the BPOR course, the Broker Price Opinion Resource. Of course, kind of like the short sale SFR course, the SFR is the short sale foreclosure course. If you're interested in doing, broker price opinions, because we're not appraisers, right? Unless you're an appraiser, you're not an appraiser. So if you want to know how to do it properly, you want to know how to do it right, you want to be able to do it really well, be an expert at doing BPOs, this is a course. There's 125 that have taken this course and have qualified to call themselves a BPOR in the state of North Carolina. And the very last one that has more than 100 designees is the green course. So obviously, now, when the green course first came out, if I recall right, it was a 3-day course. Then it was reduced to a 2-day course. I used to teach this course a decade ago when it first came out. And I no longer really teach this course, but the green course obviously is about understanding residential and commercial green properties and what you need to know for somebody to have a energy efficient property. And so it goes into commercial and residential. Obviously, Asheville is very focused on this course. Some of the Charlotte area, very focused on this course, right? And the people that they would have in those areas. I would think Chapel Hill would be a good candidate for clients and customers that would come that have a green mindset. They're concerned about the environment and they really want to be focused on that as it relates to improving their property or buying a property that's green. So anyway, those are all the courses in the whole alphabet soup of NAR that have more than 100 people. Now, obviously, big difference between GRI, right? GRI was number 1, and what did I say they had? Let me find it on here because I've got the sheet right here in front of me. 2,907 as compared to green, which is 105. Now, there's a number of other courses, obviously. Some have 0, and some have 17, some have 30. If you have an interest in one of the other courses, just know that you're absolutely willing. I'm going to share my contact information when we wrap it up, and you can reach out to me and ask. But that website will help you too. You can probably find out what you need on the website. Now, as we get towards the end, I just want you to know that I've done more than 1,200 programs of speaking or teaching in the past 10 years across the country in the real estate industry. I speak because of my trust books. I speak outside of the real estate industry also, but more than 1,200 within the United States. And here's what I found is common everywhere, no matter what. North Carolina, not North Carolina. Your area, not your area. There are 7 skills every agent needs to succeed. And let me give you these real quick because they're so relevant to education. And number 1, the biggest challenge that I find that realtors have are flow systems. It's how they stay in contact with people so that they can build repeat and referral business. Agents are really bad at this. If you look at the statistics that NAR puts out, more than 80%, sometimes even 90% of the people that work with a realtor say they love their agent and they will do business with them again. But 3 to 5 to 7 to 10 years later, when they get around to it's time for them to do business again, less than 20% ever come back and do business with the same agent again. Now, I know you would say, well, if the turnover is 50% every 5 years, some of those agents are in business. You're right about that. But many of those agents are still in business, and yet they don't get the business again because they're not good at flow systems. Flow systems would include anything that would be relationship focused, right? So anything about referrals, many things about technology, social media, those type things. Flow systems are critically important to your success. Number two, then, of course, are buyer systems. You saw some courses in there that are specifically geared towards buyers. The third thing that I found is a common skill are seller systems. You can see there's some courses in there, even like, for instance, within CRS, there's all three of these different groups that are covered. In fact, within CRS, all 7 are covered. Number 4, pricing systems. When I got into real estate, just like you, I was taught a CMA. But now we need to understand absorption rate pricing. We need to understand odds of selling. There are other tools out there to help us be better at pricing for both sellers and buyers. You're not going to learn that unless you're in some kind of program to help you, even if your company offers it. But take a designation, alphabet soup. You can put that behind your name. Number 5 is your niche. We can all be a generalist, and many agents love being generalists. But the world right now is not seeking generalists. They're not just seeking a realtor. They're seeking an expert realtor. They want somebody that understands their specific need. So when you go take some courses or take a course that helps you specialize, become an authority in one area, it's much easier to compete. It's much easier to market. It's much easier to build the business you're seeking. So number 6 then is a business plan. We've all learned, if you've been around real estate at all, that you don't spend the money till you get it. And it's never good in my mind to wait till the end of the year to see if you made a profit. I think that things that get measured get improved or removed. If you know what you're doing from a month-to-month basis, so you have a business plan, you have a strategy, you have a marketing strategy, you have an investment strategy. If you take a business plan course and you take it on a regular basis, maybe every couple of years, then you will improve your profitability. And the last thing, and critically important, is creating an exit strategy. When I first sold my retail company, got into real estate, I learned very quickly that I met no realtors that had any exit strategy. Many of them came from some other industry, they came from some other profession, they got into real estate, and they're just thinking, I'll just keep my license until I die. And but what they also learn after a while is, I can't run at this pace all the time. At some point, I've got to slow down, or I've got to just retire. Well, wouldn't it be better to sell your business rather than just walk away from your business and hope you get some referrals? Circle back to flow systems. If you have excellent flow systems, if you have these systems in place, you're going to have people that walk up to you and want to buy your business. Build a business like you're a business person, because you are. So what's the point of the 7 skills? I just want you to know, every single year, always support your local association. Always do what the Orange Chatham Association is offering for you. Get involved in that. Show up for that. But go outside also and make sure at least one time a year you take a course someplace else, even if it's virtually, in one of these 7 categories. Now, if you take a business planning course, then, next year, then take a pricing systems course or a flow systems course the next year. But every year you should be in some course. Now, I'm not saying that you got to get all this alphabet soup and put it behind your name. I'm not saying that you've got to pay these fees every year. I'm saying get the education and apply the education. And then those that apply best to you as an authority, as an expert, as a go-to agent, then you maintain those designations, pay those fees, keep that alphabet soup behind your name. But I'm serious. You should be taking something in one of these 7 skill sets every single year. Of course, you got to take 8 hours of CE, but that's 90%. You're better than that. You're in the 10%. So sign up for a course and take it, wherever you have to go, even if it means going out of state. Back in the early 1800s, Herbert Spencer said this. He said, the great aim of education, it's not knowledge, it's action. It's not what you learn, it's what you do with it. And I promise you that as you fill your mind with new ideas, new strategies, new skills, they will just flow out of you, and you'll be better at serving your clients and customers. So I just want to say thanks for coming today. Just as a big thank you, I just want you to know, if you send me a text message to 252-536-1169, say that you attended this course, watched it online, or you attended today, or you email me at mark@markgiven.com. Say that you attended this program today, whether it be live while it's going on now, or virtually later, just know that I'll be glad. I want to send you bonus material to help you understand, the possibilities for you, how you grow your business. I'll send you a free chapter of my newest book, Trust-Based Time Management and Productivity, Proven Ways to Stop Dawdling and Start Achieving. In fact, I'll send you the chapter that's the biggest question about time management. How can I be better? What's the one secret that I'm missing? And then I'll add you to my weekly 1-minute message. It's called Mark's Minute. Thousands of people open that every Wednesday all over the world, and I invite you to participate in that too. So anyway, I'm just so glad you came. God bless you. Thank you for being here. Let me show you one quick video before you go. I just know this. Seek self-mastery, because, overachievers are freaks, and you should be one of those, right? You should be one. No matter how good you get too, just know that you can always learn more. It's like this. So, hey, I'm just so glad you came. God bless you. Hey, if you got any questions at all, we can look in the chat box, and I might need some help on that to see. And if you don't, just know we got a few minutes for questions if you want.
So we don't have any questions because we told them to hold their questions.
Okay.
But
now's a great time if you got any.
It would be fabulous if y'all did have questions. I did, of course. You mentioned one that was, it's not entitled anything that has to do with an appraiser, but it seems to have that background. Which one was that?
Yeah. Actually, all right. So there are some courses. Here's what I would invite you to do. Go to the NAR website and look that up for appraisers, because there is a course that they have that's more dedicated, just like there is one for commercial. There is a course that's more dedicated to appraisers. I've never taken that course. I've never attended that course. Certainly I don't teach that course because I have no experience like you have. So I'm going to invite you to go back to the NAR website and look that up. If you just look at that link, and if you don't remember that, BPOR, was that it? Thank you, Ashley. Look at you. Thank you.
Way to go, girl. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah. So go to that NAR website and look up BPOR, okay. And then you'll be able to get an idea. Now on that website, it should normally lead you right to REBAC, and REBAC they actually have a good online calendar, so you can see where those courses are being taught, who's teaching them, what the price is. They're probably all virtual right now anyway. So you could probably, you might be able to sign up for one in the next couple of weeks if you were that interested, right? So there's a way, if you go to the website, to lead you to where those courses are being taught and who they're being taught by.
Okay, that's awesome.
Hey, Mark, I wanted to ask about the difference between the PSA course and the BPOR course, because I took the PSA designation.
Okay.
And it covered pretty much everything that I felt we would need to know. And I'm just wondering if you know what the differences might be.
I wish I could, Jessica, I wish I could answer that question, because I've not personally taken the BPOR course. I can't answer. I teach the PSA course, so I know that it's pretty comprehensive. And for the most part, if you're a realtor, maybe not an appraiser, maybe the BPO course would be better if you're an appraiser, or if you're just focused on, on some specific area. But for regular residential properties, Jessica, you probably experienced that, pretty much gave you everything you needed to think through what you're doing well and what you might could do a little bit better.
It's an excellent course.
Well, I think so too.
Say it again, Jessica. Those were what?
The PSA course was an excellent course. It was very comprehensive.
Yeah,
Okay.
the pricing strategy advisor course.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I was looking at that compared to the BR whatever, the alphabet, stupid, blah, blah.
BPOR. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Do you have a second to pull the screen back up that had
Yeah.
all those designations?
I sure can.
There are a
Yeah,
couple
yeah, yeah.
questions.
Let's just go back. Let's go back. Let me get the big screen. So
Yeah.
we'll go clear back to the beginning. And there you go. Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
I think there was a question, there was a designation someone didn't recognize.
There's some I've never attended, that's for sure. There's actually I've never ever in 20 years of real estate ever seen a counselors of real estate class being taught anywhere, the SCS or the CRE class. So obviously it's out there, but
That's
That's the one I was going to ask about because I didn't recognize that designation.
I don't know anybody. I deal with, you know, lots of the leading instructors across the country because we're just out in many of the same places, and so we talk back and forth. I don't know anybody that teaches that class. Now, obviously, it's available, so I'm just not the right person to answer that question for you because I'm not familiar enough with it to say, here's what you need to know. But if you went to the NAR website, they could probably give you more information.
I think that is the designation that says we all need some therapy. That's really what I think.
Yeah, I haven't written that yet. I think I probably need to write that, or
It's
at
really
least
therapists for realtors because this is a crazy profession, but they didn't add the little tagline.
yeah. And I don't have a psychology degree, so maybe it should be some
But
instructor.
we should.
that
We should
has
all have
psychology.
psychology degrees.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's excellent. Anybody else? Any other questions?
I see
Yeah,
nothing.
I have one other question. Oh, I see that Marcia's got something, but I'll be quick. So, you know, I'm just kind of an education freak anyway. So I take a lot of these classes and and I think you touched on this, I don't necessarily pay my yearly fees. And I just sort of feel like a lot of these designations, people don't understand them. I'm an advocate to everyone, you know, for everyone to take these classes, regardless of whether you can use the designation behind your name or not, because some of them are just so incredibly good. And,
Yeah.
you know, it just adds to our.
And Jessica, you're an overachiever too because you're an author, right? So how many books have you read?
I'm up to 37.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I got a goal of 30. I'm only a third of the way there. That's fantastic. Well, I didn't want you to know, Jessica, because you can't see anything but me and my background. But right up in front of me on my bulletin board, right in front of me, I have this quote written down. What this means for you is, with multiple explanation marks. Anyway, the point is, the point of that is that just like these designations, if you don't tell people how it benefits, and I'm talking about your customers and clients, if you don't explain to them what it means for them, it doesn't mean anything to them. Just have an alphabet soup behind your name, it doesn't mean anything because nobody knows what it is. So it's what you've learned and how it applies to them. What this means for you because I have an ABR designation is, here's how you benefit. And so that MRP course that I taught the last couple of days, exactly the same scenario. I told those people several times, if you don't explain to people what MRP means, it's just 3 letters. It doesn't mean anything at all. So you got to explain to them how they benefit from it. And that's really what education does. It expands your mind, but then it really can help the consumer tell them how you having that designation or certification will help them. You know, that'll help you be more valuable.
And the last one we have is the certified negotiation expert, a NAR designation.
It is becoming, let me see if I got that on here. You know, it's so interesting that there are so many courses out there now that have not yet been approved by NAR. And I'm looking at this list and I don't see that on here. But I know there's been some discussion about that, about NAR taking some authority or some portion of ownership of it. I don't know how those negotiations are going, but I'm not sure it currently is. If it's not listed on this website that's on the screen right now, then it currently is not a recognized NAR designation. Now, I will tell you that agents often put these other non-recognized NAR designations behind their name. Technically, they're not supposed to, but I don't think anybody's going to put them into any kind of jail for that. But again, the alphabet soup's only as good as explaining to somebody what it means to them. So you would want to explain to them what it means to them. Okay. So let me go back down for just a second before I go and put this. I'm going to not show you the video, but just put this back up so you can see it. So that for those that are watching maybe a recording later, they'll know that they can call. They can probably don't call me because I may not pick up. But if you text me or you send me an email, I'll be glad to send you some bonus material that will help you understand maybe more and chapter my book and add you to my weekly Marks Minutes. So hey, thank you for having me today. If there's no more questions, I'm just thrilled that we got a chance to get together for 45 minutes or so today.
Thank you, Mark. We very much appreciate your time and expertise. And Ashley, Cub, do y'all have anything else left to say? Are we signing off?
We're all good.
Okay.
Well, bless y'all. Y'all behave yourselves. See you in a class sometime.
Bye.